Sorry, that looks disgusting. What's new with me? Let me get into it. Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to the channel. Wow, that felt a little weird to say. Let's see how long it's been since the last time I uploaded actually. Damn, so the last upload was on January 19. It's nearly been 2 months. Wow. Okay, I got a lot of explaining to do, but I hope you guys are excited to see my face. This is sleep session 956. Wow. Yeah, you guys, it's just been quite a couple things happening to me. Not gonna lie, there were definitely some moments where I felt a little down, you know, like I felt a little sad. But I'm doing a lot better, you know. I probably should have communicated a bit more on my end. It's always a little difficult when it comes to things like this for me because I'm like, YouTube is not my job, but at the same time, I know I have a community. So it just feels like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I might be over explaining, and then sometimes I'm like, do people even like notice or like, sorry, that looks disgusting. I have lip balm and it's clinging on some like dead skin. Or sometimes I'm like, do people even care? Okay, I gotta fix that. I look ravenous and crazy. All right, I think that is better. Also, there's an event going on. Usually I like to cover these things and give like a little tips and tricks, but you know what? I was like, there's just so much for me to catch up on. Like in the early stages of Pokemon Sleep, there were not this many events, you know? Now I just feel like there's one every month and I'm feeling a little bit of fatigue. All right, so there is nothing hungry. As you can see, I am at Cyan Beach too. I mean, really, there's nothing I want to give it to. Let's just give it to the comfy, I guess. I already have a comfy though. So yeah, no interesting catches. I have caught some shinies, so that was interesting. But other than that, nothing groundbreaking or game changer for me in terms of catches. So I've just been very unlucky on that part. And as you could see, I am in Cyan Beach for this event because I was hoping to reach Master 20. Did I get that? No. I did break a personal best though. I got to Master 18 for Cyan Beach, which we will see soon. Oh, what's going on here? Thanks for getting lots of pictures with Mew in them. Looks like Mew really is curious about sleeping Pokemon. I bet it's also interested in you since you're researching these rare Pokemon sleep styles. I feel like Mew's feeling safe enough to come and sleep now. I'm looking forward to your sleep research tomorrow. Oh, so that's how I get Mew. Okay. I did see people getting Mew already. You know what? The sad thing is there were 2 nights last week because I had quite the busy week last week. 2 nights last week where I totally forgot to track my sleep, which is so unlike me, you know? So let's move on to the next campsite. I think the event is still going on if I'm correct. My area bonus is finally at its cap here for Cyan Beach. It's at its cap, right? 85 is a cap. All right, and this is week 139 of the game. I kind of don't like how this shirt looks on me. Okay, so as you can see, I hit Master 18. I was hovering at Master, oh my gosh, I got a D. The Asian me hurts for this. But yeah, I was hovering around Master 17 and now I'm at Master 18. But the event this week is a surprise mission plus the Dream Shard. So I'm gonna get High Drowsy Power here. Wait, my record here before was 19. Okay, we're gonna go back to Cyan Beach. I know, kind of boring for me. And I say that with a full heart. Like, has been kind of boring. There's like no interesting Pokemon, nothing I need to catch. So I do miss Amber Canyon because more of what I need right now for where I am in the game is at Amber Canyon. Oh, and there's 2 sleep cards, right? The World Sleep Day Reward Stamp card. This time last year was when they did the Dark Cresselia global event thing. Am I tripping? I might be misremembering, but it was last year, and what a time to be alive, right? Okay, so we have curries this week. What can I make for breakfast? Last week I was salad week, which was nice. I believe my curry dishes are stronger, so if I play my cards right, if I have a berry team overnight and pot expand and everything like that, I think we might have a good chance. If I put a little bit more effort, we might have a good chance at getting Master 20. So I can't make my ninja curry. I'm short on hot dogs. So I'm gonna have to switch my team out. I'm gonna have to settle for now with a spicy leek. And yeah, we're going to make that. I made chia seed pudding yesterday. Left it sitting overnight so that tonight, so that this morning I have breakfast. I've been on a minestrone kick for 2 months, like minestrone soup, packed with fiber, and depending on what beans you put or how much, good amount of protein too. Now it is getting warmer here in Canada, so I'm like kind of slowing down on the soup. Also, I'm a little tired of eating all that soup, so I gotta find out a different way to get all my fiber in. I know years ago, dense bean salad was the thing, because you know recipes always come in rotations where they get a lot of traction online, and dense bean salad was one of them in the past. So I don't know, maybe I will start rotating that as the weather warms up. But let's pick up our stuff. Okay, so I finally completed all of that. There are 13 days left to this mission, so you still got time if you haven't completed it yet. Let's see what are Snorlax. Great too. It's also very cloudy here today, so lighting is not the best, but you know what, we make do. Okay, so let me swap out. I will need this, swap for some pepperoni, and this will be our curry team. Little side note, okay, so Noibat and Wyvern, I'm gonna skip this one because this does not bring me joy. I'm sorry. For those who it does bring joy to though, I'm so happy for you. But for me, I'm not the target for this. What I am excited about is, oh my god, the Latias research. Oh my gosh, how cute is this? So this is going to be happening beginning of April 2026. So I wonder when Latios is going to come around. But yeah, it's going to be like the 3 dog incense where you collect down. So you get down from your sleep research, as well as depending on the level of friendship you have with people on your friendship list, you might get some down on that too. And yeah, it looks like Pokemon with a skill specialty will be particularly effective during this event. So Latias seems to be a skill specialty Pokemon. I wonder if they're going to use, I mean, they're probably not going to use the same skills as they did for the legendary dog events. So interesting to see what the stats are going to look like with this one here. And yeah, let's move right into the community research and catch up, because you probably are like, girl, what's happening? I have had some comments, some DMs of people just expressing like, hey, I hope you're doing well. Just checking in on you, which thank you guys so much for showing that sort of concern. I sometimes forget that my community sees me more as just a person on YouTube, and I feel like that is why sometimes I have this difficulty revolving how much you guys want to know about, like if I need to take a step back, or like do you want explanations and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So there is that. So I do have quite a bit to catch up on you guys on, but before we do so, latte of the day. It is a Nespresso pod. I use the Altisio 1 shot of espresso, brown sugar, banana syrup, super yum. There's cinnamon in the syrup too, and then flaky Malden sea salt, oat milk, and that is it. So let me give it a good stir. All right, she is looking beautiful. Here is to finally being back. I'm so sorry, you guys, and cheers. I hope you guys have been doing well. Wow, I nearly drank half of it. I can't wait for my second cup later. But you guys, 2 months is quite a bit of time that has passed. My baby hairs are like getting into my face. But yeah, 2 months, quite a bit of time has passed. What is new with you guys? What's new with me? Let me get into it. I have had moments where I started really being a little harsh on myself. And the reason why is because I had started job searching. Okay. I went job searching, back on the job market, and yeah, I've been on a sabbatical for 2 years. Did you guys know that? I never really spoke about it in my videos, but no one also asked, which is like, I mean, you guys respect my privacy on what I don't want to speak about or what I don't bring up, but also I've never really just had anyone ask me. You know what I mean? Very interesting, but yeah, you guys are great. I have been in a 2.5-year sabbatical, and now I am back looking for a job now that I am situated back where I live. And you guys, it's been tough. It's been tough in the sense that I knew coming back to Canada that there has been a lot of discussion about how not good the job market is, you know, and with a lot of layoffs going on, especially in tech, and my bread and butter is in tech. I also do recruitment, just as a side note. So technical recruiting is what I'm good at. And I mean, if you guys are following like what's happening with companies and all that, there's been a lot of layoffs, you know? And what happens when there's a lot of layoffs? There's not a lot of hiring. And what happens when there's not a lot of hiring? There's not a lot of need for recruiters, which means people like me kind of get affected. So it's like really not a good time. My friend told me about one girl who got laid off from her recruitment job about like 6 months ago, and it's been 6 months and she still hasn't found a job, and she has more experience than me. I have another friend who is like a director level recruiter, and she has not been able to find a job as well. So that does bring a little bit of more comfort in the sense that it makes me feel like it's not a me thing and I'm not taking it too personal. But I mean, the truth of the matter is it's hard for me to not take it personal because I'm so self-conscious about my 2.5-year sabbatical, you know, the time I took off work. And don't get me wrong, I do not regret at all my decision of taking that planned sabbatical. I've learned so much about myself and I've enjoyed life. I've pursued what I wanted to pursue, and it felt like a glimpse of what retirement can look like, right? But at the same time, getting back into it, that rejection that I feel, especially when you do several rounds of interviews just to hear that you didn't get picked and someone else got picked, I don't know, that stings. Because a lot of my self-worth is tied to academic success and career success because of the pressures that I've had put on me when I was younger. And even though those pressures are no longer put on me by the people that have placed them, it's hard for me to shake off those expectations because I've operated under them for such a long time, where I started tying my own worth and happiness to whether or not I'm doing good at work and getting the next paid raise. You know what I mean? So that level of rejection from companies, your girl went through it, okay? Your girl went through it. Like, you know what? I know it's gonna sound so damn dramatic saying it, but there was this one time I was really excited about a job. The perks, the benefits, 100% remote and everything. I was like, wow, I would love this. And the pay. The pay was a very sexy number. And it didn't go through. And I felt so like worthless in that moment that I cried. Now, granted, I was also about to start my strawberry week, so I was a little bit hormonal. But I was still so upset. I really felt like it's a me thing. Like, I feel this need to prove even more of why I'm worth it, because there's this cloud over my head, or you know, that scarlet letter saying 2-year sabbatical. She's been out of work for 2 years, or 2.5 years if you want to be technical. And that just makes me feel so damn self-conscious. Okay, so the job that I did that I was really excited for, what it came down to was that they asked me to do a case study. First time I ever had to do a case study. It's not, I mean, I don't know if it's like that in other parts of the world, but in Canada where I live, it was really not common for a recruiter gig to have a case study to do. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Like, you guys need me to do it, I'm gonna do it. So I did it. And eventually what happened was they picked another candidate instead of me. And the recruiter emailed me and she was like, you know what? It was a really hard decision, and we decided to go with someone else. If you would like to hop on a call, we can talk about it. And yeah, and I was like, you know what? Prove it. You're telling me it was a hard decision? Prove it. I'm gonna hop on that call with you, and I'm gonna need you to prove it to me, you know? I'm being a little sassy. I was a lot more polite than that. But yeah, it was, I mean, first of all, what I have to say is, being a recruiter myself, you're so goddamn busy that a lot of times you don't have time for that follow-up conversation of what didn't go right, you know? Like, if that at best, if a candidate does want that, you type it out in an email. But to go out of your way for a phone call, I was like, that must mean something. So I really appreciated that. And she was like, you know what, let's stay connected. She extended an invitation to me on LinkedIn. And you know what, if the opportunity were to arise where they're looking for a recruiter again, I hope they consider me, because I do know that there is one person that is on medical leave. They're not sure how long he's going to be on medical leave for, but I mean, I hope all is going well for him. But if he decides to forego the job, I hope they consider me. But I have been doing interviews ever since then with other companies, and it really got me into an interesting place in my thinking where I'm like, what is it about me that, like, cause in my head I know, like, realistically, if I were to remove myself from the situation, and as a recruiter, I know that when it comes to job search, the company is looking for whether or not you're a right fit, but at the same time, as a candidate, you gotta assess whether or not the role makes sense for you. And I feel like jumping into these interviews, I just felt the need to prove to so many companies that I was such a good fit. And it wasn't until like maybe a day or two later when I really assessed, because there comes a portion in the interview section where they ask you if you have any questions, right? And I took full advantage of that. And in the moment, I'm not thinking too much of it. I'm thinking more of like job security, group insurance, savings accounts, and everything like that, perks and benefits and vacation. I'm looking at all of that, And it's only 2 days later when I come to realize, like, what, the answers of the questions that they gave me to my questions, that doesn't really sit right with me. And I'm starting to wonder whether or not the role that opened up is even one that would set me up for success. You know what I mean? And it's like, do I want to jump into that environment and share the burden of something that is very unlikely to go through successfully? So there is that. And I think about it and I'm like, you know what? It was a good thing that it didn't work out, because hindsight 2020, I don't think it would have been for me to begin with. So I remind myself that, and then sometimes I'm like, wait, am I just trying to cope to make myself feel better? So like, I jump back and forth between those two thoughts, and like I've talked about it with my therapist, and I was like, girl, this is hitting my self-worth. And she's like, you know what, girl? Job hunting is kind of like dating, and the rejection that you're feeling right now is like akin to what people feel when they get rejected through the dating apps. And like for me, when it comes to people and friendships and rejection on that part, I'm totally good. Like I feel like I don't need validation through other people. So when I do experience rejection in that area of my life, I'm like, I don't even think much of it. But when it comes to work, as I explained earlier, with how I identify my self-worth with like all that stuff, that hits. And sometimes when I'm on my phone call with my mom and she's like, how's the job search going? Like, I don't ever feel any pressure that she's giving me on like, why haven't you found a job yet? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, she doesn't make me feel that way. She doesn't say anything that makes me feel that way. That feeling that I'm giving or feeling is coming from myself, which is another thing my therapist told me. She was like, you gotta lower your expectations on yourself, because you hold yourself to such a high expectation that it's gonna burn you out. And she's so right. Like, I'm totally aware of it. When it comes to people, I don't have that much of an expectation. I mean, the bare minimum is what I expect in terms of like, are you a decent human being, But when it comes to me, the expectations I hold on myself are too extreme. Like the type of expectation I wouldn't even put on someone else. So I'm trying to learn to be a little more gentle with myself, and yeah, so that's what I've been going through. And I am still looking for, job applications to apply to. And I have some interview processes that are going on right now that I'm waiting to hear back from. So wish your girl good luck on that, because I feel like I'm gonna need all the luck I can get, And in this job market in Canada right now, like, referrals are so important. And I'm lucky that I have gained a network of good people during my time at work that can like help me get a foot in, at least when it comes to conversations. And in case you guys are also doing like any job search and you're wondering like what kind of questions I ask as a recruiter when it comes to assessing whether or not the job even sounds like you, because I know it comes to a point. I mean, I'm not saying you guys, okay, I'm not saying this about you guys, but for me, I got to a point where I started feeling a little bit desperate. I was like, what sounds like begging but isn't really? A cover letter. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like stuff like that. But anyways, all that to say, don't latch on to the thing that gives you attention first. You know what I mean? Like, just like dating. But some questions I really like to ask, especially if you're talking to the hiring manager, because they're going to be your boss, you know? What is the biggest challenge that the team faced last quarter, and how did you work through it together? So at that point, you're trying to assess, like, as the boss, do they have the capacity to tackle on a bigger issue and vocalize that to the team, work it through together, because that can tell you so much about the person you're going to be working for. You know what I mean? Another thing I like to ask is, what is something I need to know about this role that was not in the job description? And you would be surprised by how much additional information they give you when you ask this question that wasn't laid out in the job description. So it might be like ongoing projects that you're going to have to jump into when you join the role, and then you assess at that point whether or not those projects make sense to you. Do you want to even be a part of that? Were you expecting something different? Another one I like to ask is, what have you not told me about the job that is crucial in determining if this is a good opportunity for the both of us, you know? And that way they might bring up some concerns that they might have, and that's when you jump in and you're like, okay, I hear you and I have experience on this part, and this is how I see that I can contribute if I were to join the company and the team, you know? Another good one is, I understand this is a new role, or maybe not, so you can then ask them what prompted this position to open up in the first place, and then you kind of understand like what's going on. Another one, what is one challenge the team is currently facing that I could help address in this role? And another really good one that I like is, if, like, for example, if I've noticed the position's been open for like more than a month or two, I might be like, okay, so this position has been open for a while now. How has the search been going for you so far? What stood out and what is missing from the candidates you've already met? Because when I'm asking this, I want to know, what does my competition look like? What is it from the competition that was working out and that is missing? And whatever they voice that is missing, that is when I jump in and I'm like, hey, that thing you said that's missing, I got that. There's been experience over here at company A and B where I've done this and that and this and that. And yeah, I mean, those questions are really just a great way to fill in any uncertainty and to further answer questions to prove what you can do. And it helps them picture, like, from day 1 to 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, what kind of work you're going to be doing and how you're going to solve the problems that they have, you know? So yeah, questions that I like to ask when I'm doing interviews with companies as a recruiter, in case anyone else is job searching out there. So yeah, job searching just has been the biggest thing. Last week was my birthday. Wait, was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it was my birthday, March 5th. It was the release of Pokipia? Yes, Pokopia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It was a release of Pokipia. It was also my birthday, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do a birthday stream. I just want to chill and like do nothing. So what did I do? I had a really boring birthday. I cooked, I cleaned, I did chores, I went to the gym. That's it. Saturday though, I went out with my girlfriends. We had a lovely dinner. We came back at my place and we just like hung out, and that was so much fun. And I was on the fence of buying Pokipia. I haven't even watched like any new videos about it or anything, additional videos for Pokemon Day and stuff like that. Was it Pokemon Day? I don't remember. Pokemon Direct? Something like that. I haven't watched those videos because I want to be surprised for when I do play it, right? Now, what prompted me to play it is I kept seeing news outlets say that Pokopia is the highest rated Pokemon game out of the entire franchise. And I'm like, god damn, I'm missing out on something historical, you know? So what did I do? On my Instagram, I asked you guys, should I get it? Because I still was like a little bit on the fence, and a lot of you guys sold it to me, you know? You sold it to me. You guys are good salesmen. So I purchased the game. It is on my Switch, and I am planning to stream it tomorrow, okay? So it depends on whether or not the companies get back to me on like the next round of interviews. So things might change. But for the time being, tomorrow, Tuesday at 3 or 4 p.m. EST, I'm gonna stream Pokemon Pokopia and we're gonna get into it. And at first I was like, I kind of want to play low-key right now, but I gotta record it. I mean, I'm sure you guys would love to see it, right? And it's been like really lovely hearing you guys tell me that you thought about me, about the game, and how much you think I would love it and everything. So I mean, to share that experience with you guys and like see my reaction and everything, I think that would be a lot of fun. So on my Twitch, you will be able to see like upcoming stream time and day. Same for YouTube as well. And I can't wait to see you guys there and like catch up and everything. Also, in terms of the Discord, we finally have mods. Yeah, we've been like wild west for a very long time, and now we have mods and they've been really great. Honestly, they are so proactive. Like I didn't know what to expect, because like this is kind of my first time again having mods. I mean, I had a mod back when I was in Twitch, but I have like a team now, you know, and they've been like so great. And you guys know them as well if you're a part of the Discord community. But yeah, any concerns that you guys might have, you can also go to the mods. They are my ears and eyes, and I trust them. So you can count on the fact that whatever they say is already have been approved by me. But anything that requires further escalation, like, you know, definitely feel free to just hit me up as well. But yeah, that is kind of how life has been for me. I've been a bulk of it is just job searching, practicing interviews, and hanging out with friends. Oh, another thing that has really put me on a spiral, and I do want to put a trigger warning because I know this can be a sensitive topic for some people. It's revolving weight gain and body dysmorphia. Okay, so if you guys are uncomfortable or you feel like this might trigger something, I do invite you to maybe skip the rest of this video. But your girl has gained like 17 pounds in the last 2 months, which is a significant jump because for majority of my life, I have been like 100 pounds and maybe at my peak like 105, you know? And I'm 5'2". So being a 117 is actually really healthy weight for me. Granted, it might be a lot more fat distribution than muscle. So I am taking that into consideration as well. In terms of like the weight gain, this is the healthiest weight I've been at, and it has been quite the adjustment for me to get used to how I look like right now, you know? And I had moments where I'm like, I don't want to be too harsh on myself, because I know me a couple years ago, my goal weight was always 115, and now that I'm 117 and I'm not used to this, and I'm nitpicking, like even now when I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder for recording, I'm nitpicking like so many things, you know? And I'm just telling myself like, you do that, get it out, and then be kind to yourself. So I always try to remind myself that, because I also tell myself, like, I remember when my little sister first came to me and she was like, hey, what kind of workouts can I do for my arms? And I'm like, why, what's wrong with your arms? And she's like, I don't like how it like flaps. And I was like, that killed me, because she was probably like 14 at the time. And I just hate how social media pushes a certain image, especially to younger girls. And I hate that, because when I was her age, those things didn't even cross my mind, you know? Granted, I was growing up in a time where social media isn't as sophisticated as it is right now, where you're seeing all these things, you know? It was like very bare bone, and, you know, like the era of like Nyan Cat and all that stuff. But for girls nowadays, looking at social media, it's so hard to escape those things when it comes to aesthetics. And like every month there's a new aesthetic or trend, like toasty makeup, or like, you know, like cinnamon makeup, marshmallow nails and stuff like that. And it just breaks my heart, you know? And when it comes to social media consumption myself, on my personal page, I limit it to following only people that I know, or girls. Like there may be like 2 or 3 girls I follow that I don't know, but I like what they're about. Maybe a handful of like clothing brands and stuff like that. But I try not to follow like social media influencers, because you know, no matter how resilient you are in your mind and all that stuff, like that, those things will get to you, you know? Those things will catch up to you. Those things will get to you. With that being said, that was quite a bit of a side note. I have been experiencing body dysmorphia. Like I hate to say it, but sometimes I wake up in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, I look, and I don't even want to say it. You could probably like fill in the gaps on what I'm trying to say, and I'm just like, oh my god, I hate how unkind I'm being to myself, you know? Now, the great thing is that when it comes to eating, I'm still eating the same way. I'm not trying to restrict myself because I don't want to go into this like spiral of unhealthy eating habits or relationship with food. I chilled on the banana bread though, because I was making way too much banana bread, taste testing too much, and you know, all the extra sugars and stuff, it wasn't good. I realized that I never was a person to crave a lot of sweets and sugars, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what it is, maybe it's like baking the banana bread. They do say sugar's an addiction. I started eating much more sugar. And in terms of like what I eat on the daily for meals, they are whole foods, they are healthy foods, and I think also it's just the fact that me before this coming back to Canada, I would probably have been eating like 600 calories a day, you know, really unhealthy, but my appetite cue, like my hunger cue was just not there, which is a really bad thing. And the reason for that is a myriad of other things that I can get into if you guys are like ever curious about that for whatever reason, but for the sake of the video, I'm not going to go too much into it. But yeah, I knew I wasn't eating enough. I always struggled with eating, so that was why I got into weightlifting, because you know, muscle is heavier than fat. So I was hoping that with muscle training for muscle, I will gain up some pounds on the scale. But even then, I wasn't eating enough to supplement that muscle growth, you know what I mean? So now I'm in a much better place. I'm eating probably like 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day, and I really focus on protein and fiber and whole foods. So like I said before, the bulk of my meals is protein, fiber, and whole foods. So I think my body was just like in survival mode for so long from the limited amount of calories I've had, that now that I'm eating like a normal human being, it's latching on to every bit of calories and energy sources that it can get. And I gained 17 pounds in 2 months. And at first I was like really happy about it, because I'm like, oh my god, like my tops are fitting better, my pants are fitting better. And then it got to the point where it's like my tops are still fitting good, but I can no longer get my hips through my pants and some of my favorite skirts. And this is where I start to spiral. And it might hit home with some of you guys, but it was so hard for me to disassociate myself from being a certain size. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, well, maybe if I lose a bit of the weight, I can get back to my size before. But then I'm like, realistically, I'm like, but my previous size was when I was like gaunt and not feeding myself in a healthy way. You know, if I want to be sustainable and healthy in this area of my life, I need to continue eating the way I do and focus on just like building muscle while losing fat. And with that, I'm never going to get back to that size I was before. So it took a while for me to fully accept that and to just start buying new like bottoms, you know, like new skirts and stuff. I haven't committed to pants yet because it's harder for me now to dress my body compared to before. So my bust and my waist grew an inch, but my hips grew 3 inches. So it was like, if I were to wear the same style of pants, but in a size up, it just doesn't look the same no more. You know what I mean? Like I just look a little bit more bottom heavy. So there's like these effortless pants from Aritzia. Those are like my favorite type of dress pants. I just don't like how it looks like on me anymore, even if I size up. And before I was more of a mid-rise jean girl, especially with my Levi's jeans. But when I went to Levi's with my friend a couple weeks ago, it just did not suit my body. But what suits it now? Lower rise jeans. Like it looked better on me and I was just so not used to it. And like now I'm like relearning how to dress my new body, and it's like I have this new adult figure now, and that's what I need to accept, that this new adult figure is the figure that I'm going to carry on into maybe my 60s or 50s until my body changes again. And I need to let go of that like early 20s body that I had for such a long time. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was like another thing that I was struggling with. And I mean, that's that's something that I feel is also very important to talk about, because I feel like for a while I didn't know how to talk about it until I opened up with my friend to talk about it, and she was like really reassuring and talking to me about how like my feelings are valid, but at the same time, like, you know, giving me what I needed to hear in order to accept this new reality and like come to terms that I can't chase for what I looked like before, because that would mean chasing something so unhealthy. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's that. I hope that resonates with some of you guys. And yeah. Now I am very excited because daylight savings happened on March 8th, which was also International Women's Day. How on brand that we lost an hour. I'm joking, but I have been loving that the sun has been setting like 6 and later. That's just been so phenomenal. No more seasonal depression, just regular depression. Yeah, I was clinically diagnosed for high functioning depression a couple years ago. I know how to manage it, but there are moments here and then where I have lulls, and I know when it's kicking up because I know what sort of things I do and not do when those moments are happening. And when I see that happening, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going through it, and if I don't stop, I'm just gonna fall into a bigger pit that's gonna be a little bit more harder to climb out of. So very happy that there's more sunshine. And yeah, I just I let myself be sad, and then I think about the feeling, and then I really make sure I think it through to understand where the root of that sadness is coming from, so that I can think about it in a way where I can let go of it instead of just ignore it. So there is also that. And with that being said, that is basically what I've been up to for the last 2 months. I was hesitant on speaking about it at all, to be honest, because I normally, when I do format videos like this, especially with my yap sessions, I prefer to talk about positive things, happy things, because you guys are listening to this, and I don't want to like bitch and moan about my life, you know. I don't want to be that person, but at the same time I'm like, you know what, like sometimes you find comfort in the fact that people are going through shit, and how is it that they're going about that shit, you know what I mean? Because shit is gonna happen to everyone. You can't control it, but you can control the way you think about it and how you feel about it. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the Discord if you haven't yet. We have a Pokopia channel or section of the Discord now, and someone else also asked for Pokemon Go, so there is that. I am excited to start Pokopia. I feel like that is the sort of spark and joy and fun that I need to reintroduce into my life, so cannot wait. I've seen little bits and bobs of like people's, islands and stuff, and I'm like, damn, are they using like some of the assets from Animal Crossing? I have no idea, but like some of the peach trees be looking like copy my homework, but don't copy it exactly. You know what I mean? So I'm super excited for that. Let me know if you guys are playing the game. I heard that you can have people join your island and you can join theirs, so how exciting would it be for like when we get to do that with each other? Like I'm really excited about that. And yeah, I hope you guys have been doing well for the last 2 months as well, whether you've been going through high moments in life or whether you've been going through a little bit of like lulls like I did. That is just life, right? Nonetheless, I'm very happy to see you guys again. Hope to see you guys in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video and in the next stream. So until then, take care, good luck, and have fun. Bye.